This MACD strategy I'm about to show you is one of the highest win rate strategies you can possibly do in trading. It is very easy to use, works in almost every single market, and most importantly, it makes money. Well, enough talk, let's get straight into it. The MACD, or the moving average convergence divergence, is one of the most popular technical indicators used by traders. Essentially, this indicator uses moving averages to find trends in the market, and it's pretty damn good at it too. Now, if you're an experienced trader, you've probably used or heard about this MACD indicator before, but the MACD indicator by itself is just alright, to be honest. So make sure you watch this full video to see how I pair it with some other indicators to make it perform so much better. First things first, let's add the MACD indicator to our chart. To do that, you're going to go to TradingView or whatever chart website you prefer, and then you're going to go up here to the Indicators tab, type in MACD, and click this top one. Now that we have the MACD indicator added, let's make sure we know how the MACD actually works. The MACD is made up of 4 different components: the MACD line, the signal line, the histogram, and the zero line. The MACD line, which is the blue line, in most cases is usually a 12-day moving average. The signal line, which is the orange line, is usually a 26-day moving average. Next, we have the histogram, which represents the difference between the MACD line and the signal line. So, for example, the smaller the space between the two lines, the smaller the histogram gets. The bigger the space, the bigger it gets. You can also see once the MACD line crosses above the signal line, the histogram turns green, and if the MACD line crosses below the signal line, it turns red. And finally, we have the zero line, which basically represents the center of the MACD indicator. Now that we know the 4 components, let's make sure we know how to use them. The MACD indicator is insanely good at finding trends in markets. How you can tell if a chart is about to have an upward trend is by looking for a cross upwards between the MACD line and the signal line. For example, here the MACD crosses above the signal line, indicating the chart is in an upward momentum. And here the MACD crosses below the signal line, indicating it's in a downward momentum. You can also use the histogram to indicate how much momentum there actually is. So if the histogram is getting bigger, that means there is an increase in momentum. If it's getting smaller, there's a decrease in momentum. So how you actually want to use this indicator is by when the line crosses upwards, but only if they cross below the zero line. If they cross and it's above the zero line, you wouldn't want to enter the trade. It's the same concept with shorting. You only want to enter a short trade if the lines are crossing downward and it's above the zero line. So as you can see just by watching this indicator is extremely easy to use.